Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Ciege. I'm with my main man E Carter. What's going on, brother?
What's happening? What's happening? First show of the year, man. I'm glad to be back.
Yes, sir. Back with the New Year edition of the C Podcast, S.E.E Sports Entertainment and Extra Sheet. Extra for y'all one time. Man, we got a good show for y'all. This one is heavily football. We got a couple other topics in here, but I wanted to warn y'all that we about to get into it. Just because a lot went on in the NFL world. Obviously, the college football playoffs happened. So we got a lot to talk about today. So we're gonna get it kicked right off with what everybody else wondered what we was gonna talk about, and we gonna start it off with this. Antonio Brown antics, man. This dude has been so talked about these past few days, specifically for him taking off his jersey and walking off the field. There's been so much to be said about what's going on with him, and I just wanted to start the show off by, first off, it's A. You know what I'm saying? A, first letter of the alphabet. Antonio, yeah, y'all get me. Uh, y'all get me. But anyway, no, I'm just joking. But anyway, man, what's your thoughts on Antonio Brown and what's going on with him?
I've heard a lot of different and interesting news about the whole situation. Like one, everybody knows he's had these type of antics with Pittsburgh, or even when he had went to uh Oakland. You know what I mean? So it's nothing new, but I also heard things that made the scenario just a little bit deeper. Like they was trying to hold him back from getting his bonus. He needed like 55 yards and 8 catches. I just heard a lot of different stuff. Him and Bruce Arian wasn't clicking. He was like, "Hey, go in the game." He like, "No, I'm not." So just by being in sports, man, sometimes like you have that little back and forth with your coach, and usually the coach will say something like, "Well, if you don't want to be here, then leave." And I think, and I think on this case, he was like, "You know what? You got it. Like I'm done. Like whatever." You know what I'm saying? And then I've just also seen some stuff that, when like the Olympics, when Simone Biles walked off and she had her little mental breakdown, everybody was coming to her aid saying, like, "Oh my God, we understand." But now when it's something like somebody like Antonio Brown, it's laughed upon, and this all of a sudden it's something different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think that's something that's already been there. Uh, who knows what the real truth is besides that organization and Antonio Brown? But on one end, it is what it is, man. If just like at certain jobs we've all had, like I've walked out of a job before. Like, you know what? I don't like the way I'm being treated. You know what I'm saying? I'm not liking the organization that I'm a part of right now, and I don't feel like y'all got my best interests at heart. So you know what? I'm a and like now this is entertainment and football, and these guys get paid millions of dollars, but that same type of atmosphere can happen there. Now, do I think he could have went about it a different way so he can still continue to try to play football? Yeah, because right now with this one added on to his list of different type of antics that he done already did in the past, it's just going to make it a lot harder if he decides that, yeah, he still wants to play football and want to come back and play next year for a team to actually want to pick him up.
Man, that last part I can't say any better at all. Like, so we all know what happened with the antics or whatever, and they said that he, like you said, they tried to stop him from getting his bonus. I had one thought about the bonus though. Like the man squandered $30 million with the Raiders. Whether it's well, that's the report anyway. It was $30 million or something like that with the Raiders he squandered. So I'm thinking like, okay, $1 million, man, you could have sat down. You know what I'm saying? You could have sat down and chill. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want nobody else squandering my money. So you know what I'm saying? If it's let me mess up my money if I'm gonna mess it up. But so I was thinking it got to be something with maybe mental health or something of that nature because it's just you see a pattern. One, it's definitely a pattern, and then outside of the actual pattern, we see outside of the actual pattern we see the money. Like, okay, well, they said you had to get this many catches and this many yards to get $1 million bonus. But it's like, well, does he really care about bonuses? You know what I mean? That's like, well, then I'm thinking like, okay, the 30 million was a couple years ago. Maybe he needs the money now because he messed up the money. Whatever. I'm not counting man's pockets. All I'm saying is that it's definitely something that's going on with Antonio Brown. I think if it's mental or whatever, and he needs to get the help, he needs to get the help. I just think it's sad for me because it's exactly what you said, man. It's like, dude, if you would have just handled it a little different way, you wouldn't be saying like yesterday after the antics or whatever. They said he said he was too hurt to go back on the field. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't backtrack saying you was too hurt to go back on the field and you walking off with taking your jersey and throwing stuff in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? If you was too hurt to go back on the field, you're too hurt to go back on the field. Like, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I've also heard that too, that he kept telling the coach, like, look, I don't feel good enough to be out there. It's the Jets. Like, we made the playoffs. Like, why do I need to go out there?
Right.
So, and then it's like, well, if you don't want to go out here and do what I tell you to do, leave.
Right. So yeah, so it's a multi-layered situation, man. And if he's saying he's too hurt to go on the field or he don't want to go back on the field, I feel him on the Jets side, but I don't know, whatever. Whatever. They was playing a decent game up to a certain point. But anyway, you on a team, you gotta be a team player. But got to be something mental with Antonio Brown. I just hope he get the help he needs. And I don't know, it's just unfortunate because I don't think he'll ever see another field again with a team. So I think that's done with all of the antics or whatever. But anyway, moving along, definitely had to touch on Antonio Brown with the walk-off jersey pull. But anyway, moving along.
He went out with a bang.
He definitely did. But speaking of going out with a bang, Big Ben's legacy. Now, I'm going to just say this because I love calling him this because his name is Big Ben Sauceless Burger. Because who want a burger with no sauce? But whatever. I'm hating because he is Steelers, longtime Steelers quarterback, and he used to put the beat down on us. No more. I don't got to watch us lose to him no more, so that's great. Thank you, Big Ben, for leaving on time because I'm tired of it. But anyway, I wanted to talk briefly about Big Ben's legacy and what he meant to the NFL. And then, of course, we got to ask the question, is he first ballot?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he is first ballot. He's a excuse me, he's a winner. Like all the way up until maybe the last 2-3 seasons. You know what I'm saying? He's been a winner since pretty much day one that he's been in Pittsburgh. So even in college, he was a winner. Came out of Miami, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no big name college or anything like that. He came from Miami, Ohio, and then had a great career. You know, so is he first ballot? Yeah, I definitely think so. If he's not, then somebody gotta tell me some other stats then. Excuse me.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I definitely have to agree with the first ballot. It's other quarterbacks that have similar credentials in terms of 2 Super Bowls that I'll be like, I don't really deserve to get first ballot. Big Man, I think he should get first ballot, just for the simple fact of yards. And he started from like you said, from day one. Tommy Maddox get hurt, they go 15-1 and make the playoffs. And the next year they win the Super Bowl. So it's kind of rough, kind of hard to take him. Well, I don't know if they won it the next year after that, but fairly soon.
They won it. First one was Jerome Bettis last year. Wherever Jerome Bettis last year was, I want to say it was Big Ben's. I want to say it was his second year.
Yeah, because I think they went 15-1 first year. Second year they went some close, but not 15-1, obviously. And then I think they won. Yeah, that might have been their second or third year, whatever. Splitting hairs here. Somebody could put it in the comments or whatever. Or we'll look it up later, correct it on the next show or something. But anyway, he won the Super Bowl, and then he had. It's not like his stats was trash. You know what I'm saying? So he throwing all these yards, throwing all these touchdowns, making the playoffs every single year but one. I think he missed the playoffs 1 year, maybe miss it this year, so 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just one of those quarterbacks where it's like, yeah, it'd probably be first ballot unless you put four other better quarterbacks, and it's not really four other better quarterbacks in his era, to go
Who
on
else?
the ballot at the same time. Because you got to
Right.
think Peyton is already done, so he gonna go in. You know, he already in. Peyton is
Yeah.
in. I mean, like who else? Tom Brady is not retiring after this year, so
Aaron Rodgers still playing.
Aaron Rodgers still playing. He's not retiring after this year. So that, you know what I'm saying? Even so, more than one quarterback could go in, but there'll have to be like four quarterbacks to kick him out. Like, all right, we're gonna take two quarterbacks. They will have to be marketably better than Big Ben.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I snuck Eli in there. He's the one quarterback I think with the two Super Bowls that's probably not gonna be first ballot, but it's possible. But anyway, anything is possible. But anyway, Big Ben, man, I think he broke the mold a little bit with the quarterbacks as far as being big, strong, being able to get out of the pocket, breaking tackles, and he broke tackles in the pocket. Like, yeah, he could escape and then run for a few yards or whatever. But I mean, just standing in the pocket, moving from side to side, breaking tackles and keeping plays alive. And you see that with smaller quarterbacks too. Like let's say Russell Wilson, for instance. Russell Wilson is elusive, like an elusive quarterback, but he's so small compared to Big Ben. So I think Big Ben was that first quarterback that was like, man, he looking like Big Ben out there. If we see a quarterback shrugging off tackles and keeping the plays alive.
The only person I'll probably say before Big Ben that started doing it will probably be Aaron McNair, because Aaron McNair was one of those type of big quarterbacks too that will hold somebody off with a stiff arm and still throw a 30-yard, 40-yard bomb. You know what I mean? Inaccurate too. So I don't know, but Big Ben is definitely one of those type of mold, has that type of mold to him to where he can shrug off a D tackle and still throw a 50-yard pass or 40-yard accurate pass,
Yeah,
especially in his prime.
especially in his prime. And the crazy part is that during that draft, and I bring this up all the time, during that draft, I'm looking at the draft. We watch the draft every year, even that young. We looking at the board, and I'm like, man, they got to get Big Ben, 13-0, Miami, 6'5", whatever, 240, whatever. And he could throw the ball. Charlie Fry, bro. Charlie Fry. Thank you, Cleveland. But anyway, whatever, bro. It's neither here nor there. But anyway, we beat them last year in the playoffs, so I got one thing under my belt. They got about 20, but whatever. At least I put something in there. You feel me? But anyway, man. So yeah, Big Ben. I actually got to see Big Ben play live a couple times too. That was awesome. We lost both games, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? We put up a good fight. Whatever. Tired of you, Big Ben. Get out of here. Thanks for the great and not so great memories, bro. Whooping my team up, even though you was great. Speaking of AFC North quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, or as I like to call him, Baker Mayhem, because either he calls mayhem for other teams or we not in good hands. His name is Mayhem. And lately we have not been in good hands with Mr. Baker Mayhem. So I wanted to see what you thought about Baker Mayfield's contract situation. Should the Browns keep him? Should they not? Just overarching, what do you think about Mr. Mayfield, aka Mayhem?
It's tough because we both got teams in the AFC North, so it's always tough to not to be biased. But overall, man, I like Baker. But he's one of those quarterbacks. When he's good, he can be great, but when he's bad, he can be terrible. And this year it's kind of hard to just judge him off of this year because he did get banged up early, but he started off the season hot. And then a couple of these injuries kind of threw some of his mechanics off and things like that of that nature. So I think I think he's the best quarterback that y'all had in a while, in a long while. So as of
That ain't,
now, and
that
the
ain't
inches.
saying much, bro.
I mean, it's not, but he won y'all a playoff game. He got y'all to the playoffs and won a playoff game last year.
Yeah, I'm
So,
definitely with that.
so with that right there, that just that notch right there sets him apart right there. But uh I think that especially with the upcoming draft, I don't really see a lot of quarterbacks coming out of college. It's like, you know what, we're gonna take this guy in the first round and we're gonna part ways with Baker. I don't really see that right now. Um, but like you said before, he got another contract coming. He got a contract, so I don't know, man. I say y'all give him some more time, pay him. Uh, because right now I think the only thing that can happen is y'all can get worse. Try to make a decision thinking that he's not the guy and then he can go somewhere else, all out in a different organization. Y'all pick up a rookie quarterback. Now y'all got to give him some time, and he's just coming into the AFC North where it's a different type of ball game over there. So I don't know. Now unless y'all looking at like some trades or something, but I mean Baker is not bad. But like I said, when he's good, he can be great. Like I just seen him play some great games, make some hell of a passes. You know what I'm saying? But then when he's bad, he's terrible.
Yep, he is terrible. When he is bad, he is terrible. The hard thing for me about Baker Mayfield is it's hard to judge him, period, because he had what, four offensive coordinators. You know, I already been through coaches. You know what I'm saying? All these coaches. This is his second year in the system. Like since he's been in here, he hasn't had the same system consistently. Coaches get fired in the middle of the year, or like Hugh Jackson. Yeah, Hugh Jackson for 1 year. That was the trash year. Uh, it's just Freddie Kitchens didn't know what the hell he was doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just you see all of the offensive coordinators, the coaching changes, system changes, you know, receivers in and out, defense in and out. Like so, it's kind of hard to judge him, even though Baker is not. He doesn't play defense, but when you keep the defense on the field, whatever. That philosophical defense and offensive arguments, we can do that all day. But anyway, um, specifically pertaining to Baker Mayfield, I agree. It's like you see him, and then it's like he can have those great games like he did against uh Cincy last year. He had a great game against Cincy last year. A couple years ago, he had a great game against y'all last year. Threw 5 touchdowns or something like that against four touchdowns against y'all or something like that, and then 5 against uh Joe Burrow or something like that. But anyway, he had a few great games. The problem I have with Baker is that and he can be deadly accurate. But the problem I see mainly is like it's like, dude, like sometimes I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? It's like you out there just, I don't know. It's like you see those games, and it's like you're not this bad. We just seen you do this. Why are you in the game throwing the ball to the left side and clearly guys over here open? Then you see him drop a pass, and you're like, oh, or he airmail one, and you'd be like, oh, why did he airmail this? You know what I'm saying? Or balls get batted down. You know what I'm saying? He's top of the league, one of the top of the league in batted passes. So it's like, what are you doing, sir? You know what I mean? And the other thing is that I noticed that, and this is my main point, is that I noticed that he is a supportive, like a support cast kind of player. So like if he has all his horses in running game, he has receivers he could trust, throw the ball to, and they catch it. You know what I mean? And we get a lead, we get a lead. You know what I mean? You get a lead, and his supporting cast is rolling. He's rolling. Or Myles Garrett gets a big sack, and he can celebrate with Myles Garrett, and then he gets rolling. But the problem is that that's also the same momentum he carries into being, in the negative transactions. So if he throws an interception, all right, well, it comes out and maybe he holds the ball too long in the next series and gets sacked, or he rolls out the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Or he tries to escape. So it's just Baker is a hard I guess pill to swallow or a puzzle to solve, because it's like he'll have stretches of games where he plays great, and then he'll have stretches of games where he plays bad. So my conclusion is that if we do keep Baker, because his contract is due, it would have to be something reasonable in terms of contract expectations. Like, we cannot give you Dak Prescott's money, sir. Sorry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. We can't give you Dak Prescott's money. Look how that's working out for Dallas. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs, but that was from early stretches of Dak playing good. Dak has not been excellent these past several games. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to give you that kind of money, we got to expect a model of consistency from you, you know, like Aaron Rodgers or Brady consistency or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just rough for me. So if they can work out the contract, I would say keep them as well, just because we don't have consistency in terms of offensive schemes with Baker Mayfield or coordinators. So I would say that. Other than that, and plus, he, like you said, he won a playoff game. He showed he could do it. His rookie year, he balled out. Then he had a couple mediocre, below average years, and then last half end of last year, he did his thing, balled out, and then this year he went back to being Baker Mayhem, not in good hands. But anyway, that's my opinion on Baker Mayfield. I say if you can get him for a reasonable rate, keep him. If not, he want more than what it is, man. We're gonna have to cut ties with you, sir. Because man, you ain't held up your end of the bargain. Also, he was injured, so that's weird too. Even though for me, if you step on the field, you step on the field. But yeah, and then we had a lot of injuries too, just like y'all did. So y'all injuries brought y'all back to the pack because y'all was balling in the beginning, and when the injuries kept going for y'all, brought y'all back to the pack. We was already in the middle of the pack and was fighting for a playoff spot, and then everybody decided they want to go to the COVID party. So
yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
Right.
That felt like the whole league, the whole world just had a one big party and everybody went.
I'm glad I wasn't invited to that month.
Yeah, me too.
Don't invite me to the COVID party. I ain't trying to go. But but yeah, man. So that's it on Baker, man. Just I don't know, man. Thank you for the playoff win. Do better if you know if you can do better, and that goes for the coaching staff and everybody on the team too. All right, moving along. Week 17 surprise wins and losses, winners and losers, or whatever you want to call them. Good efforts, bad efforts. Kick it off, my brother.
Oh well. One, I'm gonna start off with my team. We lost by 1 to the Rams. Like you just mentioned, you know, a lot of injuries brought us back. We started off real hot. Now we're at 8-8, you know. So in all of our last, we're on a 4-game losing streak, and our last 4 losses has all been tight games. So even with the injuries, we're still right there, which is amazing to me. But moving on, that was a tough loss for us. Like I said, 1 point, a 1 point loss. Let me get into something a little bit. The Bengals beating the Chiefs. I did not see that coming. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought the Chiefs was going to run away with that. The Bengals actually snapped. I think what the Chiefs was on like a 7-8 game winning streak or something. So they snapped that. Um, One, it's not surprising, but why do they have to put it on their head like this? The Patriots beating Jacksonville 50 to like, yo, why'd you have to? Y'all didn't have to put not like that. You know what I'm saying?
That
Like,
was one of mine. Like, y'all gonna put 50 on them, 50? Y'all put 50 on their heads? Like, come on, bro. Y'all should have let somebody do that where Urban was there.
right, something, man. Y'all tripping.
Sorry, that
Like,
was
I don't know.
slight Urban hate right there. But anyway.
But yeah, that was that's pretty much it for me as far as surprise wins and losses. Uh what? The Seahawks put up 51. That's
51.
crazy.
All right. They put 51 on their heads.
Yeah, on Detroit. Detroit had 29. It wasn't 50 to 10, but they still put up 51. Like, man, where's the defense at? What about you though, bro?
The thing about the Seahawks game I'm gonna touch on a little bit is because, you know, first off, they're 6-10, and nobody thought that was gonna happen. But the Lions, even though they 2-13-1, they've been playing teams tough, like heavy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they losing games, losing close games. Now they got a couple games where they, lost by more than a score or more than 10 and all that. But 51, bro, they let the Seahawks put 51 on them. So that was crazy. That was surprising. I would say the Cardinals and Cowboys was a interesting one, only because not Russell Wilson. See, I'm still thinking about the Seahawks. Kyler Murray is one of those quarterbacks to me where he plays excellent in the beginning of the season, and for some reason he kind of comes back to normalcy during the end of the season. For them to pull that out against the Dallas defense, who seems to be trending in the correct direction, which they actually been playing pretty good all year. That was a bit surprising for me, only because I didn't think the Cardinals was going to be able to pull that one out. They won by 3, which is good. But if I'm being all the way honest with you, I thought this was going to be one of those games where the Cowboys held them to 14, 17 points, and they would score like 30 something, just for the simple fact how good the Cowboys defense has been playing, especially pass rush when they rush Michael Parsons and then Trayvon Diggs on the back end, and that's just to name those two. But anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into the X's and O's.
Technically, Diggs is trash. Diggs is trash. He is a leading corner in most yards gave up. Of course, he's leading in interceptions because he's the most targeted. Because he trash.
Whatever, man. I won't go that far. He the most. Like if you watching a game, the games, the reason why he's leading in not even just most yards, but interceptions, interceptions, deflections, and all of that stuff. The reason why he has so many of those because he gambles. Like he'll try to jump something and get burnt because of something he thought he saw on tape, and then he'll come right back and jump something else and pick 6 you. So it's just you win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. I wouldn't say he trash though.
I mean, especially right now, you can't say he trash because he got the interceptions to prove it. But like I said, when you gamble like that, 1 year, yeah, you can make all the right moves this year, and then next year it can be totally opposite. You know what I'm saying? Or even in the playoffs, it could be totally opposite just because you're that type of player. So, like you said, you get that's kind of what you're going to get with him, regardless, because he does take those type of chances. But you can go from being a hero to a bust real quick.
He get a lot of help too because his pass rush is so good. Randy Gregory, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, all those players who can rush the passer. Sometimes he get thrown a beach ball because the quarterback is getting rushed so heavily. But yeah, moving along from him, I wouldn't say trash though. Should he win Defensive Player of the Year? Is close. His stats say maybe, but anyway, we can talk about that. Next week, we're going to talk about the superlatives, y'all. Get into the superlatives, who we think should win MVP and all that stuff. Whatever. Packers-Vikings was not surprising. I just wanted to go out on a limb and say that was not surprising. For many reasons. Yeah, for many reasons. You want to know something that is surprising? And it's not even just winners and losers, and this is a little bit of a sidebar. Still on the NFL circuit, though. The Falcons quietly won 7 games. They are so trash to me. They are so trash. They won 7 games this year, y'all. I just had to put that out there. That's surprising. So they win. They are surprise winners for sneaking in 7 games this year. I only watched 1 or 2 Falcons games this year, but man, let me tell y'all, they were not a good team this year. And to win 7 games, I don't know, man. I don't even know. I'm gonna have to look deeper into that, but that's just surprising. That's surprising. And definitely the Patriots putting 50 on them heads. I'm like 50. Like I'm watching a game and I'm watching Mac Jones just celebrate. He backing up doing his little goofy backup celebrations, and all of this stuff, like 50 points, bro. Like to me, we talked about this on the last show too, last month when we did our last show, and the topic was how far can the Patriots go? And I specifically remember mentioning, um, however brief it may have been, talking about the defense, how they were built foundationally to make the playoffs. And here we are. You know what I'm saying? So I like to say that I'm right about something, even though I wasn't right about my Browns. But whatever, man, they ain't gonna disappoint me forever. Uh, but those are surprise wins and losses for me. Uh, good job, Falcons, for winning 7 games. I guess y'all wasn't looking too high. Y'all game wasn't looking too high. So maybe y'all be back in the playoff hunt next year. Who knows? Y'all just came off of a Super Bowl loss a couple years ago, so whatever. Put us in it. Moving along. Mr. John Madden. And John Madden, for people who don't wherever, if you're watching the show, you should know who John Madden is, first of all. We'll put that out there. So if you're watching or listening, you should know who John Madden is. If you don't, shame on you. Legendary coach. He did play in the NFL for a time. And legendary Raiders coach. I think he won 75% of all of his games or something like that. Something close to 75%, if not 75. I ain't getting into the decimals and all that, y'all. Not today. But and then they named a video game after him. And since that video game has come out, I believe I have owned and played almost every single year of the John Madden NFL football. Me and my brother E keep our seasons alive and that, you know what I'm saying? So we big part of our lives from a standpoint of watching the game, watching them be a color commentary during games and the actual video games. So it's not like we just saying, "Oh, well, we just watched John. We just played a game. That's it." Nah, we watched the broadcast with Matt.
Yeah. Boom.
Right, the video games from Sega Genesis. You know what I mean? So it's like, so you know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, we got to shout out John Madden on the football show for sure, and then bring up, you know, all of the things that we do that included John Madden in terms of watching football, studying football, and playing his video game. So appreciate you, John Madden. You was a big part of our lives, even though you didn't know us. Appreciate you, and man, call some games up there, man, when we get up there for us, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and turkey days, man. He always used to bring the turkey on turkey days on the Thanksgiving games too. So yeah. So yeah, that used to be. I don't know what the hell they do now, but whatever. I don't think it's Thanksgiving. I don't even pay attention to
that anymore. I don't know.
I know after the game, like they bring a turkey leg out or something, but
yeah,
whatever. It is what it is. All right, moving along. Thank you, John Madden. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Betty White too. I'm gonna drop her in there. And whoever else died. But anyway, college football playoff, man. So interesting stuff here. Definitely gonna dive into this one a little bit because I got a theory. I had a theory, and my theory failed. So I gotta let everybody know my theory. And shout out to JD because JD was trying to bring us back to earth when I was stating my theory. Because I'm like, we need Cincinnati to do the unthinkable. I need Cincinnati to do the unthinkable. The team up north, they need to get smacked, but I need Cincinnati to do the unthinkable. Cincinnati did not do the unthinkable, even though they played a decent, defensive game in terms of holding them 20-something points. But anyway, here was the theory, and I hope this happens eventually. College football playoff, 4 teams. So you got 4 teams in there, top 4 teams, theoretically supposed to be top 4 teams. But they can pick whatever teams they want in terms of 4 teams to get in. Cincinnati would have beat Alabama, upset Bama. It would have made for an argument to stretch out the playoff. And here's why. Here's why. If Ohio State wins, right? So let's say Ohio State beats the team up north, then they get in. The team up north probably is out. And then you got Georgia and O State and Bama and Cincy. Well, what if the college football panelists say, you know what? We got Georgia and Bama. Let's do a rematch of O State and Michigan. And they kick Cincy out. And they say because Cincy is not in a big enough conference and their schedule was easy, even though they were undefeated, and all that stuff people say when they're trying to put their team in, right? So nobody's ever happy. So O State fans are like, okay, we can get it this year because we lost or whatever. But what about a year where you have two 1-loss teams and one gets in and the other one doesn't? But they play in bigger conferences than Cincy.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? So there's a discrepancy right there. So I was hoping for Cincy to win, one, because forget Bama. And then two, for the argument to stretch out the playoff. And I think it should be 8. I want the college football playoff to have 8 teams. I want the 5 power conferences in and then 3 at-larges, man. Or yeah, 3 at-larges. So y'all see what I meant? You know what I'm saying? So that's my argument for that. So that was my theory. JD was like, since he is not winning, cut it out. It's going to be Bama and Georgia. Y'all need to stop it. So he was right. Shout out to JD. But anyway, I wanted to touch on that because that was my theory. That's what I was hoping for. Clearly, I need to hope for something else so that what I want can actually happen. So next year, I'm not jinxing this. But anyway, man. In reference to the college football playoff, I thought Cincinnati played a decent game in terms of defensively. Obviously, they only scored 6. It wasn't enough. But Ohio State, man, let me tell you something. If I turned off my TV anymore, man, I was going to short out the whole apartment. You know what I'm saying? Right. Cut it off, cut it on, cut it off, cut it off. And they ended up pulling it out. So that was crazy. And I'm not even going to talk about your boy. I'm going to let you rant about him and breaking the record and having all them yards. I'm going to let you get on that just because I know that's your boy. That's your boy. He balled out. And I don't know, man. Hey, that was one of those performances for the ages, man. I just was like, wow, dude. Like, I don't know. I'm going to let you rant about that, though. Go ahead, brother.
One, it was a great game, man. Like, we was watching it earlier. Like I forgot what time the game come on. I just ended up surfing. And then I'm like, oh, there it go right there. So we started watching. And then, like you said, I was about to cut the game off. I'm like, here go O State. And then I was about to go off on CJ Stroud. But I'm like, nah, he ended up getting it together. The only thing I'm mad about is the defense.
Man, I don't defense was just
defense, special team. And then my nigga, you know, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Majabija. I don't know. I don't even want to mess it up. But number 11, double one. You know what I'm saying? He went off. You know what I'm saying? And he had what? I think he ended up having what? 427, 5 touchdowns, something like that. Something like that. Like, and it was just crazy. Every time you looked up, either he was scoring or making a big play. He did have that one where he messed up, and I think it was going on his third or fourth touchdown, and they, hit him with the peanut punch, and the ball popped out in the end zone, and they recovered it. But other than that, man, I think CJ Stroud is going to learn from this season. Hopefully, he comes in better next season. Like the way he ended that game against Utah is the same way you need to play all the time. He had great accuracy on the ball and all of that. So I don't know. They played a good game, man. Cincinnati, it is what it is, We would just know we was rooting for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just know
That
that.
definitely was rooting for y'all. Y'all supposed to win. Y'all supposed to change college football life forever. Yeah, high hopes for y'all, man. Y'all supposed to change the game.
And the team up north, y'all did not let us down. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we salute y'all.
Upper Dud.
We salute y'all
Yes.
for taking one for y'all team. But yeah, Smith and the Jigba had 15 catches, 347 yards. Stroud had 573 yards. So you gotta think he had 347 out of this man's 573 yards. And not only that, that's a Old State record, and then that's the granddaddy of them all record. Like he played at the granddaddy. He played at the granddaddy of them all. Had 347. I think he had 5 touchdown catches.
Yeah,
out
it
of
was
the 6. I'm like, bro, listen, that is creative player stats right there. So shout out to him, man, for bringing it back. Because I would have hated to have to lose to Utah. I don't know, man. I don't know what my Old State gear would have been looking like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that would have been looking like. But yeah, that would have been embarrassing. I mean, not embarrassing. Utah's a good team. We talked about them before, how hard they play on the 4-3 podcast. So whatever, man. But anyway, thank y'all for not losing the game. Shout out to Smith Najigma, if that's how you pronounce your name. 347 yards, 5 tutties. Let's go. And good job, team up north, man. Y'all did what y'all supposed to do. On the hating side, all the team up north fans that listen to this show, congratulations. I know y'all made it to the playoff and we didn't. Whatever. Tell us that next year. Moving along. I definitely briefly wanted to talk about my boys on the NBA side. Rajon Rondo made it to the Cavs. So we had Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio was lost for the year. And then Isaac Okoro 2 to 3 weeks with an elbow injury. So they said, you know what? Let's trade some prospect capital, some cash. Let's get Rajon Rondo over here. Get a little bit of experience. 2 rings over here. You know what I'm saying? Because the Cavs are quietly 5 games over 500. What? No LeBron and we over 500? That's crazy. Whoever thought that could happen? Since my sarcasm, because we doing our thing. You feel me? 21-16. That's a better record than the Lakers, by the way. The Lakers are 19-19. And the Cavs are 21-16. So holla at me. And we don't have none of the big 3. We got the little 3. You heard me? Anyway, I just had to rant. I had to rant real quick about the Cavs, y'all, because I'll never get to say that next year. Well, y'all gotta put it this way. I gotta put it this way. For the people who don't know, I grew up loving the Seattle Sonics, Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, and I ain't even gonna go into the whole rest of the squadron. But those are my 2 players. I'm like, man, Gary Payton locked down 3-and-D. Oh man, the glove. Sean Kemp dunked on everything moving. Power dunked on everything moving. That was my guy. But I loved them. Then really when Ray Allen went there, I was like, oh yeah, this my guy. Like Ray Allen was my favorite player, period.
Jesus, shut up, bro.
Everybody who knew me knew when he was with Milwaukee, and it was him, Tim Thomas, and Sam Cassell. That was my guy. So then when he went to Seattle, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a wrap. So that was my team, and then my second team obviously was the Cavs when they had Wesley Person and Darius Miles and all them, throughout the years. My other team. So then I got older, ended up moving up to Cleveland, and my opinion on Kevin Durant, I'm gonna just leave that alone for another day. And I was like, yeah, going back to the Cavs. So I've been a Cavs fan ever since. Number 1 Cavs fan ever since, and they've been breaking my heart, except for 2016. Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, so thank you for giving us Rondo, giving us a decent chance to keep this over 500 record going. We appreciate y'all, Lakers. Stay doing what y'all doing. Whatever, man. So I wanted to touch on that. Any thoughts about that? Or
look, I've been so out the loop, man, the last couple of days. Last couple of days been a little bit of a blur, Been some good moments though, of course, but I mean, Rondo going to the Cavs, man, should help that, that little winning streak or what that they got going on. So Rondo is not a bad player at all.
Nah, not a bad player. Never really has, man. Worked on. He could have a better 3-point shot, but whatever. We don't even really need it because we got a bunch of 3-point shooters anyway. So, yeah. Thank y'all for giving us Rondo because Rubio is out and Isaac Okoro is out. So that's my thoughts on that one. And y'all stay winning. Because if y'all stay winning, I stay getting to talk trash. All right, moving along. That's the sports section. We'll move on to entertainment. We got one entertainment topic today, and I thought about this literally on the fly. Unfinished shows. So I was thinking, like, we always talk about like what shows we watch, what movies we watch, popular movies, popular shows, but we never talk about the shows that we watch, that we love, that we just leave in the back burner and then come back like, oh man, that show, I need to go back and finish it. Any shows or movies that you have not finished?
Man, I go all the way back to Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy. Like,
You gotta finish
again,
Breaking Bad. So good.
I know, but it's like I done got so far into it. I don't really want to go back and start from scratch. Like I really would have to go back and like nitpick through episodes to see and remember where I was at. But yeah, it was Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy. I want to say that might be it. I really don't get really into shows. Like I probably need to watch Power again because I did start watching that like a while ago. Of course, a while ago. But then now you got all this everything the other shows that didn't came out with since then. So yeah. But other than that, man, I'm gonna say at least those two shows for sure. Everything else, I'm kind of waiting for him to come back with. Like I was watching the Ozarks. I think that was a real good show. The way they left it so unfinished. Like I think somebody got popped at the end, and it's like, whoa, like you just gonna leave it like that? Like this the last one? Like, like what? So I'm still I don't know if they're gonna come back and do another series with that or not. But that was definitely a good one as well. What about you?
Man, I probably got like 50 of them bad boys in my queue. Uh, you know me, man. We just be working and doing what we doing and planning. If we not actually doing a show or something, we planning something. Or now with the custom business or whatever, I'm cutting something out or whatever, or engraving something. So whatever. But I don't know, man. I got a bunch of them on the anime side. I had started Demon Slayer, never finished that, so I'm going back and finishing that since they got that other season that they put out. Excuse me. So I got to finish that. But the other animes that I really, really enjoyed, I finished now. And then for a while, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. My show NCIS for a while, I was behind on that one. Caught up on that recently, so now I'm in the DC side, watching all the DC stuff. So I gotta finish Flash, gotta finish Arrow, gotta finish. You know what I'm saying? Because you watch one, and then they be like, finish this show on Legends of Tomorrow. Like, oh, come on, bro. Now I gotta watch Legends of Tomorrow so I can see what the story was in this one, bro. Like, all right, now I gotta go watch that one. So you know what I'm saying? That's how I get caught up. I'll be trying to figure out what the story, how they use the comic book stories or whatever, or how it relates to the comic books, and then I get too interested in them. So definitely got to go finish all of the DC stuff, and I definitely got to finish all the Marvel stuff too, because I have not watched not one episode of anything Marvel in terms of like Loki or WandaVision or any of that. Because I know once I get started with that, it's really a wrap. Because I'm a huge Marvel fan, so got a DC fan too, obviously. But yeah, it get uncontrollable with the Marvel. I get to watching all the movies in order and everything. But anyway, man,
Right.
just to see how it rolls. But yeah, man. So definitely got to watch all the DC stuff, finish all the DC stuff. Got to watch the Marvel stuff, start the Marvel stuff. That's not even unfinished because some of that stuff I ain't even started. But I'll just leave it at that. And a few animes, but most of the anime stuff I get to binge watching, you know what I'm saying, or watching while I'm waiting on calls or something like that at work. So, you know me, simultasking. We don't multitask, nothing, simultasking.
Right.
For people who don't know, simultasking is simultaneously attempting to do two tasks. You can't multitask. Can't do two things at once. Impossible.
Anything
Anyway,
possible.
right, facts. Anything is possible. Or you hit them with the brandy, impossible.
Right, and Whitney. I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, they don't know nothing about Whitney hitting the impossible, bro. But anyway, man, so that's that. Y'all don't leave none of our shows unfinished, man. Hey, finish them. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And well, we'll talk about it after extra shit. Moving along to extra shit. Extra one for the day. I told you I was getting the extra one for the day. But anyway, man, what extra shit you got, bro?
Well, one, I went to my first NFL game this past Sunday. So that's why I didn't talk about it in the wins and close wins and losses because I was going to save it for this. But I ended up going to the Indianapolis and Las Vegas game. So and they played in, and it was definitely a tight game. Went down to the wire. The crowd was rocking. It was just great to kind of see. Like, of course, it's different when you watching it on TV versus like all the different little categories, bringing people out, the mascots and different little events they got, shooting stuff in the crowd and all of that type of stuff. And then we had some really good seats too. So it wasn't close enough to where I could like I wasn't super close, but we wasn't super far back either. Like we was literally right at a good spot to where you can see who everybody was. And it was just amazing to me how much the game looks slower in person, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Like, 'cause I can imagine, like we played ball, you know what I'm saying? So being on the field and doing these routes and playing defense and all of that, it's like you can see it, and it's like, okay, now you being in the stands and you watching them do it, it just looks like everything is moving a whole lot slower than how it looks on TV. But it was definitely a great experience, man. Got a little litty, watched, had some laughs, had a good time, man. It was definitely great. Can't wait till next football season so we can start making it a little tradition and start doing it again, going to a couple different games. And of course, everybody know I'm not an Indianapolis fan, but I was invited because I made a post. I made a post about where we were sitting at and where I was at. Everybody like, oh, you're at the wrong game. Why are you there? Why? I'm like, man, one, it's a football game for one.
I can't go to the game.
Right, like we live in Ohio, so the closest thing besides going to a Bengals game is Indy. So like, yeah, I can't just go to a Baltimore game. I can't just pop up and be in Baltimore on Sunday. Now, if I do that, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? I might not come back home, but but nah, that's definitely my extra. You know what I'm saying? It was just definitely a good experience, man. And I had a lot of fun. It was great.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. The game is definitely a lot slower when you watching it on or when you watching it live versus watching it uh, on the TV. So for the simple fact, like when you at the stadium, where you at home, it's distraction. So like you at home and the TV timeouts. So it's actually something playing on the TV. You can get up, do whatever you got to do, or whatever. But on the football field, they getting water or Gatorade, standing still. You know what I mean? So that time ain't filled with nothing but, all right, you got to use the bathroom. This will be the time. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's more stoppages, specifically when it's timeouts or TV timeouts and all of that stuff. So definitely, but I will say the atmosphere at games is really, especially when it's at capacity. I've never been to a different stadium. The only stadium I've ever been inside of, and I've been there and been multiple times, is the Cleveland Brown Stadium or First Energy when they changed it to First Energy. But I never been to any other stadium. And when you get in there and it's at capacity, like I went to two Steelers games and one of them was opening day when we had Deshaun Kaiser and almost won when they still had Antonio Brown and he went off. But we it was like a last minute drive or something like that, or a late fourth quarter drive that sealed the deal for them to win. But man, the atmosphere was crazy. I'm talking about wow, like the stadium is loud and people high fiving each other. You know what I'm saying? Like
Dancing,
you don't get that at home. Dancing,
right,
you see Steelers fans in there, you talking trash and moving around, and y'all having a good time. You know what I'm saying? If you talking to the right opposition, you know what I'm saying. Some people get mad or butthurt or whatever. Man, let me talk about my team, man, my team, and be
right.
whining and be wanting to fight over stuff. But you get the right fans, you could talk trash like me and you talk trash about our teams, but like it's a team. Like I'm not going
Yeah,
hard for Baker Mayfield as hard as I'm rocking with my brother. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know this guy, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. So you get that atmosphere, that fun, that talking trash at the game versus being at home. Only thing I will say about being at home is the most comfortable place to be. It's just
yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
love being at home
And
watching
you're not
games. But
spending no
anyway,
money.
and you ain't spending no money. I spend whatever money I want, and then I'm at home. I don't got to spend no money.
Right.
So yeah, facts. So yeah, man. So my extra stuff for the day, man, is just it's crazy. I was thinking about not even just unfinished shows, but I was thinking about games or sports games in general, whether it's NBA, NFL, or whatever. And I was thinking, man, I remember we used to tape games when we couldn't watch them. Like we'd be like, man, I gotta see Jordan. Hey, Dad, you taping Jordan? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Hey, can you tape whatever? And we tape the games, watch them. And now it's like if I miss a game now, a lot of times I just miss it, and then I go back and look at the highlights or something. You know what I'm saying? Or go and watch sports show or whatever. And now that we doing this, I was thinking like, man, I'm about to start recording my shows, recording the games again. If I need to go back and watch like my Browns or what I'm saying, if I record a Ravens game, I want to see how they played. I was like, man, I'm gonna start taping these games again. Went in there, found that I had some games taped, bro. I was like, look at me, boy, ahead of myself, boy. Look at that. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But yeah, man, I was just thinking about back when we used to tape stuff, man, and tape stuff that we couldn't watch, or we'd be out or something, and we didn't have Hulu where you could have the DVRs or any type of digital DVR or anything
TiVo.
like that. TiVo, we had to tape, literally put a physical tape in the VCR, bro, and tape the games. So I was just
Hey,
thinking
bro.
about that, man. So that's my extra shit for the day. What's
Oh
up?
yeah, for sure. No, I was just saying for sure. Yeah, we said it was a struggle.
Hey, the funny thing is, man, is I still got at Meemaw's house. Uh, we had the Bulls versus Rockets game.
Mm,
Still got that tape somewhere over there. I need to go look in the in that front room with the big
in the
tape
archives.
collection. Yeah, with the tape collection and she had every Disney movie and Jordan tapes in them up. But anyway, yeah. So that's the extra shit for the day, man. Wanted to leave y'all with something that I was like, man, what the heck? Taping games. Uh, we used to be like, man, rewind. Make sure you rewind it, because if you don't rewind it, I'm only gonna get whatever time is on the tape. Yeah,
Hmm.
these new age kids don't know what they doing, boy. But
You
anyway,
know.
anyway, bro. Anyway, man. Appreciate you coming back on today, man. I know, man, you just getting back doing your thing, man. You was out there in Lucas Oil.
Hey, look, man, I've been on recovery, man, since New Year's Eve. So, but it's still great to be back. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Drinking plenty of water. You know, a happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you too, my brother. But it's great. You know what I'm saying? It's a new year, same process, same mode, man. We're gonna keep it rocking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Uh, yeah, we appreciate y'all listening, man. And we know we took some time off. Holidays was doing a holiday thing, feeling real holidayish. So we took a little break, little hiatus. So we're gonna bring new content back to y'all every week on this show here with the sports entertainment and extra shit. We got some other stuff cooking too. Uh, I'm gonna let you do your closing, and I'll give everybody your tags and tell them what you got cooking, and then I'll do that next.
All right. Well, you already know, man. That's your man E Carter, man, host of First Class Podcast. We will be back on air this week. Tomorrow we're starting a new segment, which is the First Class Morning Show. I have two all new co-hosts for the morning show. So be on the lookout and be tuned to that for tomorrow morning. It will be a live morning show. We are going to continue to go live on the main show, First Class Podcast. That's going to be back this week as well. Still be on the lookout for that, man. You can catch me on Twitter at EZE721. Facebook is First Class Podcast Media or First Class Podcast Media fan page. I need to get back on Instagram, but Instagram is just First Class Podcast if you just want to stay with that, or Space Ninja 87 if you want my personal.
Cool,
but that's pretty much all.
Cool, man. Y'all see my tags at the bottom at the link ENT LLC for Link Entertainment at Ciege 101. That's my personal Twitter. We trying to get the Twitter game back up, man. So go ahead and hit me up on there. I'll start dropping content if y'all start following me, I promise. Whatever, man. I ain't promising y'all that. I promise y'all that I can be me. That's all I can promise y'all. You know what I'm saying? So at the link ENT at Ciege 101 on Twitter. Everything else is just at the link ENT LLC, except for Instagram is at the link Entertainment LLC. Y'all can find everything that we do on there. Also check out Kurt's Custom Engraving right now. We're on Facebook and Etsy. If you need something customized or engraved, hit us up there. You know, we gotta keep multiple streams of income coming over here just because that's what we do. We got a few things at the link going on, so be looking out for the link podcast. I probably will drop a promo sometime this week and either drop it later this week or next week. So the link, which is the flagship podcast for the Link Entertainment, that thing was doing numbers before I stopped doing that. So it's been a little over a year bringing that back in full effect. So definitely be checking that out. We'll have guests on there sometimes, and we will likely keep it live like this one. So check that out. And then music, man. We've been recording music. I myself dropped a song in November. Probably will make some more for y'all. In the works with a few other artists to put out some more music. Just because what we love to do, we love music, we love sports. That's why we came out with the show Sports Entertainment and Extra. Likely to start premiering some stuff on here once that stuff comes through. So be looking out for that as well. Again, we appreciate y'all for listening, taking the time out of y'all day to listen to us and everything we do. Everything is going up. So we appreciate y'all. Also, shout out to the Brothers Stolen Time Podcast. Check out Drippy Network with JD, Schools Bronson TV. I think it's Schools Bronson _TV on YouTube. It's underscore TV either on YouTube or Facebook, but y'all find him on the Schools Bronson TV. Just type in Schools Bronson and y'all find your brother on there. So Schools Bronson TV, again, Stolen Time Podcast, and then you got Drippy Network with JD. Hey brothers, man, drop y'all tags in the comments so people can click on the links or whatever, or send them, or I get them and put them in there if y'all don't do it. But I appreciate y'all, man. We got a great support system or whatever. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, Happy New Year. And thank you for listening to Sports Entertainment and Extra shit.
Let's go Ravens.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a good one. And we are out.